Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Rights groups tells Buhari to release IPOB leader. Rights groups tells Buhari to release IPOB leader. Kanu speaks. Kanu. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. The Human Right, Liberty Access, and Peace Defenders Foundation, URID, and Campaign for Democracy, CD, have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in obedience to the appeal court judgment. The executive director of URID and chairman CD Southeast Zone, Dede Uzo, expressed disappointment over the federal government's refusal to release Kanu after a consequential court judgment by appellate court. Recall that a three-man panel of court of appeal had quashed all the charges against Kanu, directing that he should be set free from Department of State Services DSS facilities, where he has been detained since his rendition from Kenya. The federal government refused to release and went to Supreme Court to obtain stay of execution of the judgment, but they were directed to return back appeal court. The appellate court reaffirmed their earlier judgment and refused to grant federal government application for stay of execution. However, a fresh appeal panel was set up which granted a stay of execution to federal government, making Kanu to continue to remain in DSS facility. But the rights groups queried the rationale for still holding the IPOB leader, in spite of court order when members of Boko Haram terrorists, Fulani herdsmen and bandits were allegedly allowed to go scot-free by the government of President Buhari. The groups alleged that the terrorists were not just released, but absorbed into the Nigerian army, the police, and other security outfits in the country. The rights bodies wondered why the leader of the Niger Delta Volunteer Force, Asari Dokubo, allegedly allowed to be carrying and brandishing AK-47 and other dangerous weapons of death with his boys, but Kanu Nnamdi has been kept in dungeon just because of his agitation for the sovereignty of the indigenous people of Biafra. They warned that the bane of this country is that some ethnic groups are seen as superior to others, stressing that all ethnic groups should be treated equally. How can federal government constitute itself into a lawless government? It is obvious that Buhari was all out to deal with Indigo. This has been shown by the Attorney General, Malami himself. In this country, some sections of the country are given preferential treatment. Marginalization and injustice against Indigo in Nigeria, especially under Buhari, is real and glaring. We are calling for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. The federal government should, as a matter of urgency, respect the sanctity and the independence of the judiciary by respecting the judgment of the court, the group said. The Human Right, Liberty Access and Peace Defenders Foundation, HURID, and Campaign for Democracy CD have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately release the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in obedience to the appeal court judgment. The executive director of URID and chairman, City Southeast Zone, Dede Uzo, expressed disappointment over the federal government's refusal to release Kanu after a consequential court judgment by appellate court. To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let's know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.